Hi, sixth graders. We are going to learn about negative space and we are going to make some negative space collages. Now, the main idea here is that you can identify and design for the negative space of an image, and that's going to require you to change your point of view a bit. So, we've already talked about contour lines, so I went ahead and crossed that one out. But the positive space for our vocabulary is the main focus of the picture, and the negative space is the background of the picture. A collage is where we paste materials on a single surface. Now, if you don't have glue and you don't have old magazines, I've got another way that we can still show the negative space, and I'll share that with you too. So don't worry one bit. Now, filters on phones give us different points of view. And I had mentioned this when we started our drawing practice. But what our brains do is we can tell our brain to focus on something different. So if you've ever played the Where's Waldo game, what you do when you look at the picture is you tell your brain, look for red and white stripes, look for glasses, and then you scan the whole place looking for Waldo. But then if you're trying to find the wizard, you tell yourself, look for a big gray beard, and you scan it. And so you can tell your brain what you want it to focus on, and you can change your point of view. Now, our job is going to be to take an existing drawing, one of our contour line drawings, and design the pattern around the space. So design a pattern inside of the negative space. Here's an example of student work. This one is not collaged, it's drawn in, which is one of the two ways that you can do this project. So we're going to take a drawing that we've done. For example, this week I showed you an example of my cup drawings, and then design the space around it. Now, this is a drawing of a trombone and a chandelier, but the space around it was cut and paste, all with magazine pieces that are similar colors, some that are yellow, some that are purple. Same here, a vase with flowers was drawn, but then instead of filling in the inside, the negative space was all designed using magazines, and this time just ones that were red. Now, this one uses grays and browns, but you don't have to use just any color. You can use any kind of pattern that you can imagine inside of your negative space. So for our assignment today, you are going to take an existing drawing or start a new one, get to the place where you've added all of the contours, and then design a pattern for the negative space. So if you're doing a collage, I definitely want you to accurately and neatly cut and glue that space. But even if you're drawing in the pattern, we still want you to hug the edges as well as you can around the space. Let's take a look at what that will look like. So I went ahead and used the previous drawing from this week, the one that we did the shape drawing and then the contour line drawing with. What you'll notice is that I've drawn in. So I did not do a collage. I didn't have all of the things I needed. Maybe you do, which is awesome. And if you don't, that's okay too. But I created a pattern around the outside that hugs the edge and gets inside of the spaces that are open. So the positive space is the object of the drawing, and the negative space is all the little ins and outs around it. So we are still focusing on the contour in one way, but we're focusing on it from a different point of view. So if you have markers, if you have a pencil, if you have magazines and glue and scissors, any of those will be perfect for this assignment. But your job is to develop some patterns and design for the negative space all around a contour line drawing, but it will be particularly good if you've got one or could make one that has openings inside of it where the negative space is peeking through, and it gives it a lot more richness and helps bring the object towards the front even more. Now, the last thing I'll point out is that mine has the line drawings in it, and some of the collages that I've shared with you that other students have done in the past don't have lines in them. I don't care whether you have a drawing that has lines on the inside or if the inside is all whited out. That's up to you. But what I do care about is that you do a great job of hugging the edges, the outside parts of the positive space, and showing the negative space just right up against that opening as well as you can.